Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we have something a little different. Today I want to talk to you about an article I came across. And I don't see a lot of the other bigger gaming news outlets talking about it. But to get straight to the point, what I'm talking about is Atari acquiring 5 IP from Ubisoft. Namely Grow Home, Grow Up, Child of Eden, I Am Alive, and most importantly, Cold Fear. Now while I can't really speak to the other games, well besides I Am Alive, I've been interested in I Am Alive. I just haven't got around to doing it, but I will eventually do it on this channel, I promise you. Cold Fear is something that I just recently covered. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think this was the 20th anniversary for that game. So it came out in 2005, I believe. Yeah, it came out on March 15th, 2005. So it is 20 years old. The point is, it's no longer with Ubisoft, and it's no longer dormant, which means Atari plans to do something with it. What that means so far, I don't know. But what's exciting is the fact that the CEO said, and I quote, "We are excited to reintroduce these titles while exploring ways to expand and involve these franchises." I love this game, warts and all. If you've played it, you know what I mean. If you haven't even heard of this game before, haven't seen anything from it, I'll leave a link in the description of the video I made covering the game. Just to give you a quick rundown of the game, it's a survival horror title where you play as a member of the Coast Guard and he investigates a ship that's been overrun by some creatures, I would say. And this is all happening like in the middle of a storm. So the ship is swaying, and as it does so, you have to hold onto the railing to keep yourself from falling off, and waves are crashing into the ship at the same time. This game just sets the atmosphere so well. And I explain all that in the video, but if you're interested, go and watch it. But getting back to the article, the fact that Atari acquired it doesn't mean we're getting a reboot of the franchise. It doesn't necessarily mean we're getting a reboot of the franchise. Most likely we're gonna get a remaster of a kind, maybe just like visual upgrades in terms of resolution, because from what I remember, it didn't even have a widescreen mode. Also, a re-release of the game means it'll just be more easily available everywhere. Because it is so old, it's kind of hard to get your hands on this game. Especially if you're playing on like the new consoles, which I don't even think that's possible on Xbox or PlayStation. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. Look, realistically, I don't think we're gonna get a remake, although I would love that. And I'm also not ruling it out completely. But if they go beyond just simply increasing the resolution and putting it out on the new storefronts, this game could potentially be truly amazing. If they just iron out some of the weird kinks and maybe just update it in a few ways and just make it a little bit more accessible, this game could be one of the survival horror greats. Now they've also mentioned evolving the franchises, which could also mean sequels. I don't know, but whoa, sorry, I didn't mean to knock the mic. I'm getting a little excited here. I don't want to get too hopeful, but that maybe could also mean rebooting it, evolving it into a better form of itself. If you look at what Atari is doing right now at the moment, they're taking older games and just like breathing new life into them. If you look at something like The Thing, which got a remaster, which was published by Atari in part, they seem to have updated the visuals and added some quality of life improvements, which is enough, but I honestly want a little bit more from that. But then again, if you also look at something like the System Shock remake, which Atari also had a hand in, they seem to have done a better job at improving the visuals while still keeping the same visual style, which is kind of cool. And the game just looks incredible overall, even though it's like low polygon, I think. It's a very weird art style, but it looks very cool. Look, I'm not a game developer. I don't know how hard or easy it is to port these games and improve on them, like upscaling the resolution or improving the lighting or something like that. But I would appreciate if they could make some like real fundamental changes. Like for example, putting a crosshair on screen. Because if I remember correctly, some games didn't even have a crosshair. Also maybe a minimap if they could do that, because the game had no minimap and it was impossible to keep track of where the hell you were at any time. I say impossible, it wasn't that hard, it was just a little confusing for someone like myself. But if they were to actually go for full-on remaster or reboot of the franchise, that would just, that would put me over the moon. And with the current resurgence of survival horror and the quality of the survival horror games we were getting recently, maybe it's time for them to put some of those eggs in the basket, you know? Put a little weight behind the game and not just make it a simple resolution upgrade and then pump up the price, you know? But let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for Cold Fear to come back? Because I sure as hell am. And I'm always down for some more survival horror franchises out there. We could do it more. Lord knows they took away our Dead Space. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Evil Within series. Also, if I sound a bit weird, it's because I just had my wisdom tooth removed and it's still a bit swollen here and it's very annoying to talk. But I'm good, and I hope you're good. That's gonna be it for this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.